Hello and welcome to the first edition of Motorsport Report for 2024. I'm your host Daniel, and this week we'll be covering all the action from the Diriyah ePrix as well as the Rolex 24hr at Daytona. Now, Diriyah hosted both rounds 2 and 3 of Season 10 of the Formula E Championship, and both were ran under the lights. Round 2 saw victory for Andretti driver Jack Dennis after a stellar drive from third on the grid. Dennis managed to take the lead after Mitch Evans went into attack mode but wasn't able to deliver, therefore giving the positions both to Dennis and Verne. There was a lot of switching back and forth between Dennis, Verne and Mitch Evans. But unfortunately for Evans, though, his night didn't get easier from there, as he was in non-stop battles all night, even with his teammate Nick Cassidy, which he eventually did give the position to later in the race. On the final lap, after attempting to pass Verne for second into turn 18, Evans ended up losing control of his Jaguar and ran wide, which ultimately cost him a podium spot. Now here are your top 10. So Jack Dennis wins round 2 in Formula E, followed by Jean-Eric Verne and then Nick Cassidy rounding up the 3. And then we've got Bird, Evans, Nato, Gunther, Wehrlein and Seta Karma, and then Fringe rounds up the 10. Now, round 3 saw a brilliant start for Robin Fringe, who took the lead really early ahead of Roland. After Fringe went into attack mode, he gave the position to Cassidy, who then was given the lead for the majority of the race. Now, when Cassidy went into attack mode, he was actually able to keep that lead and then resulted into the race win after a good long battle with Fringe. Sam Bird wasn't so lucky after retiring due to steering damage after scraping the wall. His McLaren was one of the 4 retirements in round 3. And your 10 for the round 3 is Nick Cassidy taking the lead, followed by Fringe and Roland rounding up the 3. And then we've got Jack Hughes, Van Dorn, Venestraz, Wehrlein, Verne, Gunther and Evans rounding up the 10. And now looking at the championship standings after round 3, we've got Nick Cassidy leading the series on 57 points. And then a small gap behind, we've got Pascal Wehrlein and then Jean-Eric Verne rounding up the 3. And then we've got Jack Dennis, Evans, Gunther, Fringe, Buemi, Roland and Jack Hughes rounding up the 10. And for teams, well, Jaguar leads the way with 78 points, and then we've got DS Penske with 47, and then Porsche Formula E team rounding up the top 3 with 38 points. The 62nd running of the Rolex 24hr at Daytona started off with some close racing in all the respective classes. First crash of the day was from Misha Goikberg in the Winred Lambo after Goikberg lost control heading into the Le Mans chicane and crashing into the inside tyre wall. Now, this may have been the first crash of the day, however, it certainly wasn't the last. Not even an hour into the race, a total of 5 cars crashed within 1 lap. 3 LMP2 cars came together on the Le Mans chicane, and then the CrowdStrike LMP2 car loses control at turn 3, which unfortunately ruined the race for Paul Miller Racing's Car 14, after their GTD Pro Lexus had nowhere to go. As the night went on, some of the new GTPs suffered technical gremlins, with multiple teams retiring into the night. However, the talk of the event was Whelen versus Penske, Cadillac versus Porsche. Now, they were battling all race, but it was Penske who were able to clinch the victory from Whelen after an incredible final hour of racing. This was Penske's first victory in 24 hours since 1969, a full 55 years ago. Now, after 24 hours of racing, Only 2 seconds was the gap between first and second. That is the beauty of endurance racing. Now we're going to have a look at the top 5 of each class in the race. So starting off with the GTP class, we've got Porsche Penske Motorsport winning the 24-hour, followed by Welland Cadillac Racing, and then Wayne Taylor Racing with Andretti in third. And then we've got Porsche Penske in fourth, and then Proton Competition in fifth. Now, in the LMP2 class, we have got Era Motorsport, and then we've got CrowdStrike Racing, Riley Motorsports, and then we've got Inter Europower, and then Tower Motorsports. In the GTD Pro class, we've got Rizzi Competition in Ziona, and then we've got AO Racing, and then we've got Paul Miller Racing, Heart of Racing Team, and then Corvette Racing by Pratt Miller Motorsports. And then in the GTD class, we've got Winward Racing, AF Course, and then we've got Conquest Racing, Triasi Competition Ziona, and then Preston Motorsports.